I'm Christopher Ball, and I've been crafting user experience for 20 years now for companies like the BBC, Virgin Atlantic, Samsung, for agencies like Digitas, and even for startups. It means I've seen a lot of portfolios in my day, some good, some bad, and what I'd like to tell you is how you can use the power of user experience to create an amazing portfolio. So if there is a secret sauce to creating an amazing portfolio, it's in the art of storytelling. And that is storytelling about your work itself, but also how you use the user experience around the work to allow me to explore it and discover it. You could be an incredible designer with an amazing repertoire of work, but if you don't take me on a journey, if you don't give me insight about you as a designer and about your creative process, you run the risk of losing me. So the user experience is incredibly important. And you'll really want to think about and be clear about who your primary audience is going to be. And this is probably going to be people who are hiring you. These are people who are going to be asking questions like, who is this person? Who is this designer? What is your process? What work are you most proud of? And this is the first kind of content that your user experience needs to expose when they land on the site. This is probably going to be in an about section because it's all about you, and that's what they need to get to terms with in the very first time they get to that site. And if you want some great examples, look at designers you love, look at agencies online, go to their about sections and see how they tell their stories. See how they put their journey together in terms of telling you who they are and what they do and what they stand for. So the golden rule is simplicity and clarity. Create a site with two sections. One section is about you as a creative. Who are you? What makes you tick? What makes you special? What awards and achievements do you have? And the other section is, of course, about your work. Showcase your best work. Showcase what makes you talented as a designer. And each piece of work deserves its own page. You can really look at templates to help you build those pages, like albums or events or galleries, so you don't have to create them from scratch. But remember, it's about clarity and simplicity, so don't go deeper than a page because that's probably going to be too much. For each piece of work, you'll want to develop a story through the user experience that showcases your journey with it. And it needs to cover 4 key points. What was the brief originally? What was your process that you took to answer that brief? What was the final output that answered the brief? And finally, what was the result in the end? And remember, going along on this journey with you is your user. Let them enjoy your work, let them experience it to the fullest, but make sure that you pay very close attention to things like navigation. Your user needs to be able to get back to other pieces of your work. They need to be able to go to the About section, and they probably need to be able to move easily from one piece of work to the next. So really think about that and how you design and construct your pages. And of course, you need to think about where your audience is getting to your portfolio site. Remember, they're not always at their desk, so they might be accessing it on their mobile phone. And I think a great first place to start when you're designing the site is mobile first. Think about what it looks like, what the experience is like on a mobile device, and that will make it much easier when you think about what the portfolio should look like on a bigger screen. Platforms like Squarespace offer fully responsive templates, so they'll work on any device. What that means is that you can start designing away. You don't have to worry about the code behind the experience. That said, if you're minded to code and you want to create a more bespoke experience, you can do that as well. You can go in and create tags, add tags, you can change the navigation, you can change the structure as you see fit, but you don't have to. And remember, at the end of the day, simplicity and taking your user on a journey is key. So if you take anything away from what I've told you, it's 3 things. 1, think about your audience and the questions they're going to ask you. 2, craft the user experience to tell your story. And 3, tell your story in a clear and beautiful way.